Welcome, planning commissioners, staff, and guests. Special welcome to our newest planning commission member, Mr. Carlos Osorio. Multiple staff members are here today to ensure that the meeting runs smoothly and all applicants and members of the public are able to participate in the meeting at the appropriate times.
If you are here today and would like to speak about a case, please provide your name clearly into the microphone, and please be sure to sign in either at the back of the room or at the podium for documentation purposes. If you're here today to speak about a case, you must speak up when the chairperson calls for public comment. And I'll go ahead and call the roll. Mr. Cohn?
Present.
Mr. Cook?
Present.
Ms. Davis?
Present.
Mr. Osorio?
Present.
And Ms. Thomas?
Present.
We have a quorum.
I'll give a brief review of the meeting format. Applicants with requests before the Planning Commission are allotted a presentation time of 10 minutes. This time should include, but is not limited to, an overview of the project, case history, and any pertinent meetings held regarding the request. This time also includes all persons presenting information on behalf of the applicant, such as attorneys, engineers, or architects. The time limit does not include any questions asked by the Planning Commission or staff regarding requests. During the public comment period, members of the general public are given the opportunity to address their concerns in intervals of 2 minutes. After the public comment period, applicants have 5 minutes to respond. The administrator has a timer and will make presenters aware of when their time has expired. The Planning Commission reserves the right to amend these procedures on a case-by-case basis. Are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, there are 2 changes to the agenda since publication. Case number 6, a text amendment, which was TA-2023-005 for 1531 Taylor Street, has been deferred until the October meeting. And case number 8, which is Annex-2023-0018, this is a future land use map amendment and zoning map amendment for a pending annexation at Park Lane Road, has also been deferred.
Thank you. The Planning Commission uses the consent agenda to approve non-controversial or routine matters by a single motion or vote. Examples of such items include approval of site plans, annexations, and street names. If a member of the Planning Commission or the general public would like to discuss an item on the consent agenda, you must speak up after the consent agenda is read. Then that item is removed from the consent agenda and considered during the meeting. The Planning Commission then approves the remaining consent agenda items.
I'll go ahead and read through the consent agenda. The first item is approval of the August 10th, 2023 meeting minutes. And case number 2 is a future land use map amendment and zoning map amendment for a pending annexation. This is Annex-2023-0020 at 3214 Bluff Road. This is a request for a recommendation on the assignment of the land use classification of Urban Edge Community Activity Center, UEAC1, and the assignment of zoning of Community Activity Center Corridor District, CAC, for a pending annexation. The property is currently classified as Economic Development Center Corridor and a priority investment area and zoned M1 by Richland County.
Is there anyone here to speak about 3214 Bluff Road? Seeing none, we can advance.
The next case, case 3, is Annex-2023-0021, 3650 Bluff Road. This is a request for recommendation on the assignment of the land use classification of Urban Edge Community Activity Center, UEAC1, and the assignment of zoning of Community Activity Center Corridor District, CAC, for a pending annexation. The property is currently classified as Economic Development Center Corridor in a priority investment area in zone GC by Richland County.
Is there anyone here to speak about 3650 Bluff Road? Seeing none, we can proceed.
Case number 4 is a future land use map confirmation. It's LUMA-2023-0002 for 118, 118 and a half, 126, 132, and 138 Bluff Road. Request recommendation on the confirmation of the future land use classification of urban core mixed residential type 3, UCMR3. The property is currently assigned an interim future land use classification of UCMR3 or urban core mixed residential type 3. And we'll go ahead and just read the next case. It's on the same property. This is a zoning map confirmation, ZMA-2023-0013 for the same property on Bluff Road. Request recommendation on the confirmation of zoning of residential two-family Mill Village District, RDMV, a portion within the floodplain overlay district. The property is currently assigned an interim future land use classification of residential two-family Mill Village District, a portion within the floodplain overlay district.
Is there anyone here to speak about the cases at Bluff Road? Seeing none, we can proceed.
And as mentioned, case number 6 has been deferred, so that brings us to, the vote on the consent agenda.
Seeing as there's no one here from the public to speak on these cases, is there anyone on the Planning Commission who would like to speak on any of the cases on the consent agenda? With that, I will entertain a motion to approve the August minutes and the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda and the minutes from August.
I have a motion. Can I get a second? Second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We will use the following outline for the regular agenda items. The administrator will introduce the case. The applicant will have 10 minutes to make a presentation. The Planning Commission may then ask questions. The public comment period will be open to those present. The public comment period will be closed. The applicant will have 5 minutes to respond to the public comments. Planning Commission may ask additional questions of the applicant. Deliberation and action by the Planning Commission will follow.
That's going to bring us to S-Plan 2023-0009. And this is a project that entails the construction of a 250,000 square foot multifamily development on 2.4 acres within a block bounded by Hugie, Washington, and William Street. The proposed development will contain 223 one-bedroom apartments and 27 two-bedroom apartments, an amenity space, which will include a clubhouse, pool, and garages. The required number of off-street parking spaces for this development is 0, where the applicant will be providing 344. In addition, the applicant is proposing to construct 8 parking spaces along the Washington Street right-of-way adjacent to the development. The required bicycle parking is 13 short-term parking spaces and 63 long-term parking spaces, whereas the applicant will be providing 15 short-term spaces and 63 long-term parking spaces. The applicant has also provided a traffic impact study, and should the commission be inclined to grant the approval of the site plan, staff would request that the commission grant approval subject to staff comments. And I believe the applicant is present and can explain their case.
Thank you for having me. I'll be relatively quick. My name's Ryan Solo. I'm the president of development for Silver Hills. We're a national multifamily developer that's active all throughout the United States. We partnered with, we are a family-run organization, and we are long-term holders of all of our assets. So what that means in terms of the projects that we build is we really focus on the quality of what we build. We try to build really nice high-end apartments that really activate areas. We are very focused on helping to create vibrant, walkable downtowns. So a lot of our projects, if you look at what we've done in downtown Fort Myers and in Orlando and in Daytona Beach. And we have a project, a 300-unit project in Uptown Charlotte that's under construction. We are really experts at trying to activate areas that need the residential component in order to have the walkability. So we're very excited about this project because this is really on, being adjacent to the corner of Hugie and Gervais and right across the street from the Publix and walking distance to all the restaurants and community amenities here. We're very excited because we think our projects are really going to activate the area and really fill a need that the community doesn't have, and that there's been a lot of student housing developed in this area, but not really much in the way of multifamily traditional for rental products. So that's what we're offering here. We really focus on building, like I said, it's an urban walkable product. So you can see some of the elevations that we have, kind of gives you a sense of what our buildings look like. Really try to blend into the community and kind of work symbiotically with the other projects in the area. And that's kind of us in a nutshell. Inside of our buildings, we are very focused on putting together a high-end amenity package. So we will have a really nice pool courtyard, clubhouse, everything in terms of parking for the residents will be in a parking garage. So there won't be any impact on the adjacent neighborhood for parking purposes. That's basically us in a nutshell. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have, and I appreciate the time.
Appreciate the presentation.
Thank you.
It's been a while. I think we've seen a few projects for this site, so it'd be great to see one go.
We're very excited to work on this. We've been working on this project for a long time, so we're really excited to get going.
The traffic study was favorable for?
I believe so, yes.
No additional, okay. I looked through it, but I didn't, making sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. Does anyone have any comments?
I don't have a comment, but I do have a question.
Sure.
Can you tell me what your targeted renters are for your apartment buildings? Is it students or is it seniors or?
So we are a market rate product, so we're not student housing. So this is not designed to be, typically when you see student housing projects, what you typically see is, a common area with 3 or 4 or 5 bedrooms. Our product is mostly heavily geared towards 1-bedroom units. Our average square footage is, in the 7, probably high 6s, low 7s. So it's really geared towards, I would say typically what we find is our residents tend to be more of the young professional, the people who are living and working in a downtown area. That being said, we wind up with residents from frankly all walks of life, teachers, doctors, firefighters, because our unit size tends to be a little bit on the smaller side. It allows us to kind of hit a little bit lower of a price point. So we tend to wind up with, a fair amount of, it's really a mix of everything.
Okay, thank you.
I have one question for staff. We're in this approval purely looking at the site plan.
That is correct. I believe DDRC approval will be next week.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Light crowd today. Is there anyone from the public who would like to speak for or against or about the project? Anyone on Planning Commission have any other questions or comments of the applicant or staff? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve S Plan 2023009, 2.5 acres, 400 block of Washington Street and 1245 Huger Street.
Second.
And is that with staff comments?
Yes, with staff comments.
And second.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes.
And since the last case was deferred, that's all the business we have today.
With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.